Welcome to the NCDWI Guide podcast, where defenders of the Constitution assemble to prepare for courtroom battle and firm owners gather to develop marketing strategies that will revolutionize the practice of criminal defense. Here's your host, the NCDWI guy, Jake Minick.
Hello, fellow freedom fighters, and welcome to episode 117 of the NCDWI Guy podcast. On today's episode, we are talking about leveling up, taking your law practice, taking your game to the next level. This quarter, as a firm, we are having as our theme, we have a quarterly theme at the office. This quarter's theme is leveling up. Getting to that next level, pushing yourself, improvement, self-growth. Leveling up. It's the theme of the quarter for us as a firm. So I'm going to talk about the importance of leveling up. First of what we're going to go through today is why, the why of leveling up. Why should you take your game to the next level? And then secondly, we'll go through 3 ways of how to kind of practically implement a level up process. So this is for everybody. This one, if you're not listening, there's no excuse. If you think maybe the subject matter of some episodes in the past that are very nitpicky in terms of what we're focusing on a DWI, a specific issue or a marketing issue, didn't apply at that particular time of life. Maybe it applies now. So go back and scroll through because you might see something that you missed. But this episode applies to every single person out there because we all need to level up our personal and our professional games. So this is a non-skippable episode. Some of the episodes have been that, maybe few. This is a non-skippable episode. You got to listen to this because this one is important. Before I dive into the content for today, I want to promote and I'm not getting paid for this. In fact, the company that I'm going to promote here in a second doesn't even know I'm doing this. But I want to promote the upcoming CRISP Game Changer Summit in Atlanta, Georgia. This is happening on November the 2nd and 3rd of this year. So just a couple months out from that, November 2nd and 3rd in Atlanta, Georgia at the Mercedes-Benz Arena where the Atlanta Falcons play. This is a massive event. This is going to be a massive event. I have been to every Game Changers Summit that has been put on by CRISP, and they have been phenomenal and hands down the best things for both self-growth and the growth of my practice. Those summits have really been instrumental in creating the culture here at the office, in thinking of ways outside the box to take our legal practice to the next level. So if you're considering how to level up, if you do nothing else but sign up for the Game Changers Summit, then you will automatically have leveled up. So you can listen to this episode and say, you know what, I took an actionable item and I've taken my game to the next level. They are truly remarkable summits. Been to every one. I've left with incredible ideas of how to grow my legal practice, how to grow personally. It's just hands down the best legal conference I've ever been to. So go check their website out. Go look them up because you are going to be massively missing out if you do not attend the CRISP Game Changers Summit. Speakers this year include, as they always do, Michael Mogul, who is the founder and CEO of CRISP. Probably the best speaker that I have ever listened to. His podcast is amazing. The content that he's delivered at every talk that he's given at each of the Game Changer Summits have been incredible and among the best that are offered at the summit. So a truly inspirational and motivating but practical speaker. Cy Wakeman is going to be there. Cy was at the last conference and one of my favorite speakers. She's coming back this year. Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, is going to be there. David Goggins, Marine or ex-Navy SEAL, and motivational speaker. He spoke, I believe, at the first Game Changers conference and was just like totally mind blowing in terms of his story and the way that he then passed it along to your own life. And Jessica, Michael's wife, is going to be there. She's spoken at several of the conferences about hiring and about what they're doing on the back end of CRISP. And so it's just got, they've got several more speakers to announce, but just an incredible lineup of speakers. Again, I've been to every conference. Most of my team went to the conference last year. This year, we're hoping to get almost everybody at our firm to go to the conference. So if you think I'm just like, BSing that this is some good conference, or, that I'm getting some sort of like exchange or money, I'm not being paid anything to promote this. My buy-in is that I've been to every one. I'm taking my entire team. This conference will change your life. I mean, it will change your life. Obviously, it will change your practice, but it will change your life. So I really do hope to see some of the Freedom Fighter Nation at the CRISP Game Changer Summit. Please let me know if you are going to be down in Atlanta, because I would love to hang out. My team and I are going to do a couple of things outside of just attending the conference. So maybe we can pull in some of the North Carolina criminal defense professional bar into some of those activities. So please let me know if you're going to be down there. I'd love to hang out and bounce some ideas off of one another in terms of what we're taking away from the conference. But again, easiest way that I can tell you right now to level up is to go and sign up for that conference, because it will literally change your life. So again, no payment or clapping on the back from CRISP. That is just, to me, one of the easiest ways you can take yourself to the next level. So in terms of content for today, so I'm going to talk about 3 reasons why you should level up. Anytime you're thinking about something, it's always best to investigate the why. As a philosopher, I've spoken about this in the past, majored in philosophy in undergraduate. Why was the big question, right? These big ethereal questions, why am I here? What is my purpose? All of those things. And those are important questions. But anytime we're endeavoring on something big, it's good to have a real solid why. So if you're asking the question, why should I level up? Then here is 3 reasons why to level up. And maybe you're asking that because it's kind of like, hey, I'm actually doing okay. I'm maintaining. I've got a good life. I've got a good clientele. I'm running a good office. I enjoy the practice that I'm running. So why not maintain? Why not just kind of keep doing what I am doing? And I think that there is some legitimacy to that, right? Like if we've got, a life that we're kind of hoping for, and our family life is in a good place, our professional life is in a good place. Maybe we're making a good living. There just doesn't seem to be a need or a want anywhere. Why level up? Well, if that's your mindset, then here's reason number 1. Michael Mogul, who I just referenced in the CEO, founder of CRISP Video, and will be speaking at the Game Changer Summit. He has said at multiple conferences and talks, if you're not growing, you're dying. And I think this is also a message that Tony Robbins preaches as well. But if you're not growing, you're dying. That is such an easy thing to overlook, especially when we're in this kind of like, let's just keep maintaining. Let's just keep doing what we are doing. I'm comfortable. I like where I am, right? But the maintain mindset is a dying mindset. If we're not looking to improve, if we're not looking to get better, if we're not looking to improve our habits, clean up our diet, improve our health, improve the health of our families, make those around us better, make our community better, then we are in a dying mindset. It's not a maintaining mindset. It is a dying mindset. So if you're thinking, why not maintain? Then I answer, because you don't want to be dead. You don't want to be dead. If you're maintaining, you're dying. If you're not growing, you're dying. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is that the competition is leveling up. Ed McCauley, I believe, is a professional football player, is credited with saying, somewhere, someone is training while I am not. And when we meet, he will win. Somewhere, someone is training while I am not. And when we meet, he will win. The competition is growing, right? And that may not be every competitor. Some competitors actually might be dying out. And so you look out there and you say, well, actually, it looks like, if anything, this particular lawyer, this particular practice has gone, kind of south over the last couple of years. And maybe that's true, but it's certainly not true of everybody. Every year, new lawyers are coming out of law school. Lawyers are coming from other states. Every year, the competition is leveling up. And we've talked about several times on the podcast, you're not just competing with other lawyers and law firms for clients. You're competing with every other business that exists. You're competing with Amazon. You are competing with Google. You are competing with Apple, because clients, customers generally, are looking at their business experience and they don't care what industry they have been served with in the past. This is why universally people believe that, certain companies stink, right? If you've had a bad experience with a company, bad customer service, you come to expect that from that particular company. Their brand stinks. And so you got to think about it and say, well, hey, what is it that all of these companies, not just other legal practices, what is it that all of these other companies are doing well? And how can I imitate that? How can I build upon that? How can I innovate and improve upon that particular area in my own practice? But the competition, even within the legal space, is constantly leveling up, and it's beautiful. I love it. I invite it. I hope that everybody is trying every day. Everybody that's listening to this podcast, Freedom Fighter Nation, for the 12 people that are out there listening, whoever it is, whoever's out there listening right now, I hope that you are doing everything in your power to one-up me and every other law firm that exists. Because that's the best way that we can serve our clients. That's the best way that we can grow as a defense bar. Because as soon as you level up me, I'm going to watch and say, damn, that's amazing. And I'm going to steal that idea. I'm going to start doing it myself. So I'm looking for these great ideas. So level up, because I'm hoping that I can steal that great idea and improve the lives of my own clients with that idea. And I hope you're stealing from me where there's good ideas, and I hope you're ignoring the crappy ideas that I put out there. But, whatever it is, imitation is the best form of flattery, right? This mimicking what other people are doing out there. There's no need always to reinvent the wheel. Plenty of things that we are doing here at the office have been an implementation of what other law firms are doing really well. But make no mistake that the competition is leveling up both within the legal industry and outside of it. And you've got to keep growing. If you're just maintaining right now, then your stock is going down. If you're doing the same thing you did yesterday, then you're not only not improving, but you're getting worse. Maintaining does not work when the competition is leveling up. So don't forget that. Number 3, challenges bring fulfillment. Challenges bring fulfillment. You got to find joy in the process of growth. We're not always about the end result. The fact that we are trying to improve ourselves, that we are trying to level up, just the process of doing that is changing our brain. Our mind is a muscle. Our mind is a muscle. It's something that we have to work on, something that we have to sharpen. We don't want the mind to get dull. The only way for the mind to not get dull is to try to work on it. And if we have big dreams and goals, we've got to start leveling up right now. this quarter number 3, 2022, you have got to start leveling up now. Lao Tzu said, do the difficult things while they are easy, and do the great things while they are small. A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. Do the difficult things while they are easy, and do the great things while they are small. A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. Bam. I mean, that's the mindset right there. Because sometimes these places that we want to go, or if we have certain goals or dreams, they just remain goals and dreams because it seems like too big a project to move toward. And instead of getting overwhelmed, you've got to just take the next step. I'm training for my first 100-mile ultra marathon right now. And it seems like a humongous task. I've been injured the last couple of weeks, so I haven't been able to run, and I'm feeling like this pressure, like I got to get back out on the road because I know how difficult this thing is going to be. And constantly, as I listen to other people that are in the ultra running community, when you're running a 100-mile race, you don't do it all at once. You don't say, well, I've only got 97 miles to go. It's, take the next step. Some people say, just look to the next aid station, just look to the next, whether that's 5 miles down the road or 10 miles down the road, just look to that next checkpoint. But a lot of them just say, take the next step, focus on the next step, focus on the next step. And they do that for 100 miles, right? That's got to be our mindset. We've got to find that fulfillment in the challenge of growth, because it's difficult. It's really difficult to level up. And I think that's one of the reasons why we don't want to do it sometimes, right? It's like, if now is comfortable, then why do I want to improve? Because improvement's going to take work. You don't just improve automatically. You don't just get better automatically. You have to focus on, be intentional about improving. It's not going to just come naturally. It's not going to just you're not going to become great by maintaining. Probably never going to actually reach greatness, but we're certainly not going to become great by maintaining. We've got to keep moving. We've got to keep growing. So challenge brings fulfillment. So there's 3 reasons. If you're not growing, you're dying. The competition is leveling up, and challenges bring fulfillment. There's 3 reasons why to level up. Now, how do we do that? How do we get better? Well, first of all, we've got to be accountable to somebody. We've got to be accountable. If we're not accountable to anybody, then it is so simple to just forget it, right? This is the reason why, right? Hopefully a large portion of the audience is working with clients who are charged with DWI, who are struggling with addiction. This is why AA works, right? This is it, because it's an accountability setup. You are going in generally on the daily to check in with your teammates, right? To check in with other addicts and say, hey, yesterday I was 22 days sober. Today I'm 23 days sober, right? Accountability. It is so powerful. Regardless of what stories are coming out during an AA meeting or what the content is, the fact that you're checking in every day with these other people, massive advantage in terms of overcoming addiction, or at least working through addiction. It's the same thing in our own lives with every place that we are trying to improve. Accountability is critical to success. It's one of the reasons why with my goals and with the goals of the team at the office, we publish those. We put those out there. So each of us at the office gives a list of personal and professional goals to Stephanie at the office. She creates a spreadsheet of everybody's goals, and they're put out there. And then we share them within our accountability teams at the office, teams of 3 to 4 people that we are checking in with weekly to communicate those goals and say exactly how we are progressing on those goals. It's the reason why I have told my family, my church community, put online that I am training for a 100-miler, because as soon as I've spoke that into existence, even if I don't know the people that know that I'm shooting for that goal, there's an accountability factor that is put in there just by putting that word out there to others. It's like, man, this person's going to know if I don't attempt this. This person's going to know if I fail this. And it's scary sometimes to put that out there, because if you have big dreams, then it's easy to want to keep it inside, in between your two ears and not tell anybody about it, because then that makes it real, right? And now you have to be accountable to that person, whether there's an actual accountability structure in place or just the fact that they know it. Develop your accountability with another person. If you're trying to level up, write down what area of your life that you're trying to improve, and then tell that to another human being, to your spouse, to a friend, to a colleague. Tell somebody about it. Don't keep it between your two ears. Speak it into the world and ask somebody else to hold you accountable to fulfilling that goal. So number one, accountability. Number two, coaching. Get a coach. In AA, you not only have other people who are participating in the program, you have a sponsor. Why? Why do we have a sponsor? Because it's helpful to see somebody else who has done it in the past. It's helpful to find somebody that can be a mentor, that can offer advice. And so many of us, I think, once you get out of college, maybe even before then, it's kind of like, well, I should have it all figured out by now. I don't need a coach. I should have it all figured out, right? Think about the times in your life where a coach has been able to take you to the next level. I can remember being on the Smoky Mountain Storm travel soccer team when I was probably like 14 years old. 14 years old. I loved playing soccer, played rec all through, basically since I was probably like 6, 7 years old. Played rec every fall, started to play rec in the spring, just loved it. And finally, I got to a place where my parents helped support me to get onto a travel team. So I was one of the newbies on this travel team. I think a lot of maybe like raw talent, but not very developed. And so we were doing this drill where basically you were practicing crosses, right? Like kind of the high crosses, 15, 20 feet off the ground at the peak, to another teammate on the other side. And I could not, and this was super embarrassing because I'm out there with all these great players. For whatever reason, I could not get that ball to leave the ground. And I don't know if it was the pressure or what was, just poor mechanics. Couldn't get the ball to go off the ground. So my coach, was this great English coach, Ian, came over and was just watching. He just was watching for a couple of crosses, watching. And then finally, without like saying anything to me before that, he said, "All right, Jake." And this is terrible. This is why I probably sound like Australian, or, maybe this is till like made up accent here, but he's, "All right, Jake, I've seen it." And he then went on to explain how the placement of my left foot was in front of the ball, and where I needed to place my plant foot needed to be further back. And the next few crosses, no joke, I was easily the person getting the ball highest in the air. It was probably like 30 feet up. I mean, honestly, like too high for a good cross. So it was like maybe an overcorrection, but it was so high up in the air. And, I could see my teammate, Tony, that I was passing the ball back and forth with. His eyes were just like in total astonishment at the change, because we had been crossing before then. I couldn't get this ball off the ground. And now it was just flying through the air. And that is the power of a great coach. They can sit and look at what you're doing, identify where you can improve, and say, here's where you need to make the adjustment. Boom, done, right? We would never send our own kids into an athletic team sport without a coach. right? Have we ever done? I mean, I've never done that with any of my kids. Been like, hey, why don't a bunch of our kids just get together? I'm sure they'll improve if they just go out on the soccer field and start playing other teams. And they would improve. But it would be crazy to not have a coach that can explain and help develop kids' talent, right? That's what the purpose of a coach is. Recently, this isn't really necessarily a coaching situation, but recently, again, I had this. I had done a longer run when I was on vacation, and kind of felt great through the run. 10 minutes after I got back from the run, I could not move my right leg. I was like literally crawling up the stairs. I was like, what in the heck is going on? So I just kind of fought through it for a day. Didn't sleep well that night because the pain was pretty intense. Couldn't get out of bed easily. I wasn't able to like bend that leg at all. It just hurt to walk. And so I called my cousin, Ben, who is a physical therapist, not the next day, but the following morning. And basically it was like, Ben, I mean, I can't move my leg. Can you please help, give me some suggestions, or do you think I tore something? So he started to ask a series of questions. Does this movement hurt? How much can you bend your leg with this moment? Started having me do a couple of stretches. Does this stretch hurt? No, it feels okay. Does this stretch hurt? No, it feels okay. How about this stretch? Ooh, that hurts. I can't get to 5% of where you're kind of hoping my leg to be on that. So he said, all right, just gently do this. And he stayed on the phone with me, kind of helped me walk through this exercise. Then he had me do another exercise that kind of stretched that same muscle in a different position. And he had me rotate back and forth between these two exercises for about 3 sets. Was on the phone for about 10 minutes with me. And then after the last set, he said, okay, try walking again. And I started walking, and it felt, again, it wasn't healed, but I was walking relatively normally. It was literally like he had just performed a miracle over the phone. I literally just started to break into laughter, because it was one of those things where I wasn't expecting it to feel any different, and started walking. And it was just this incredible difference in terms of physical movement ability. And it's kind of like, my mentality before that was, I'll just figure out how to get through this. I'll just let this naturally heal. I'll fight through the pain, right? This stupid mentality to have, when there is a coach, a trainer out there that you can talk to and be like, hey, how can we improve this? And they actually know a lot about how to improve it. So Ben, the Miracle Man, got me walking again, which in just a few minutes. And again, it's like, why didn't I make this call yesterday? Why do we not get a coach? We get a coach when we are 8 years old playing basketball because we want to get better at it. Nothing is on the line. We're not hoping to go to the NBA as a professional basketball player. Maybe we are, but like looking back, we're like, yeah, we're not going to the NBA. There was nothing at stake in that coaching moment, but we still had a coach to improve. In your legal profession and in the development of your personal life, where everything is on the line, getting better is a necessity. Why do we not get a coach? Why are we not looking to improve? Maybe it's because we're satisfied with where we are. Maybe it's because we think it costs too much. Don't let there be an excuse. Get a coach. I've been using a lot of kind of like free resources for coaching. This quarter, I'm going to get a professional coach back involved in my life. I've gone through coaching programs in the past. I'm getting a professional coach back in my life. There is all kinds of free or extremely cheap resources out there for self-improvement, for the improvement of your law practice, whatever area of life you need to coach in. There are extremely cheap models. There are extremely, there's no cost models. I mean, you can go on and listen to podcasts, and we've talked about some of those resources in the past. So I'm not going to go through that now, but don't be dumb. Don't think I'm just going to figure this all out on my own. And don't follow my own stupidity, because that's the model that I took for a long time, especially as a young lawyer. It's just like, I'll figure this out. Seems like everybody else is just figuring it out. Get a mentor, get a coach, find somebody in the legal profession in your local area that can help mentor you in the courtroom, help develop your law schools in the courtroom. Find somebody who's running a very successful law practice. Ask them how they are doing that. Ask them how you can improve your own law practice. Find somebody that can help you improve. So number 2, coaching. And number 3, set aside the time to develop yourself. One reason I think that a lot of people don't look to improve is because they just say, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for a coaching program. I don't have time to read self-help books. I don't have time to read a marketing book. I don't have time to listen to this coach on their podcast. I don't have time to level up. I don't have time to take my game to the next level. I don't have time to attend these CLE courses that I'd like to attend. Don't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself with this idea that I don't have enough time. Everybody has enough time. Everybody. I have more time that I could be putting in right now to improving myself. I do. And everybody else has that additional time to improve themselves. You're not too busy. If you are feeling overwhelmed and like you don't have enough time to do anything, you are the person that most needs to take the time to get that set straight. If you're just constantly putting out fires and on the phone and running around and, feeling like you're just sweating from one place to the next because you don't have time to slow down and process anything, you are the person, and I know this from personal experience because I've been that person. You are the person that most needs to set aside time and say, hey, where could I improve? Where am I being inefficient? Do I really love what I'm doing? How can I make my own life better so that can then trickle down to my teammates, to my employees, to my clients? You have got to level up because you are setting the standard for the people that you serve. You're setting the standard for the people that you serve. So don't kid yourself that you don't have enough time. What are you listening to on the radio every day, going back and forth to work? Are you watching shows at night? Do you have free time on the weekends? Set aside 3 or 4 hours a week that you can think about how to improve. For me, running has been a great way to do this. Running has been so easy because it's easy to eliminate all of the distractions. And I used to, and still do some, I used to listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of music while I was running. Recently, I've gotten more and more just kind of into this, pushing outside any noise or distraction and just having like quiet, free mental space. And it's wild because we're just not used to that. We're not used to having that kind of free time, but there have been so many, and this isn't the purpose of it, that, I've kind of enjoyed having this kind of free space, but there have been so many good thoughts about ways I can improve the law practice, ways that I can improve my personal life, that I've kind of tried to figure out now like a note-taking system so that when these things like pop into my mind as I have this like free and clear mental space, I can actually record those like real time, because otherwise I'm going to forget them. I don't have the greatest memory. My mind is bouncing around a lot. So I've got to figure out a way to record those, but don't kid yourself that you don't have enough time. So many attorneys, so many of us feel overwhelmed and stressed and pressured by the amount that we have to get done in a amount of time that you can't do it in, right? There's just too much on the list to get it done. We have to be setting aside that time where we are focusing on how we can make things better as opposed to just getting things done, checking off the to-do list. If you're not focusing on how you can improve your practice, it's going to get worse. If you're not focusing on how you can improve yourself, you are going to decline. So, hope these thoughts have been helpful. Level up. Take your game to the next level. Look forward to speaking with you next time. If you found the information in this podcast to be valuable, I simply ask that you pay it forward and share this podcast with another member of the legal community. Also, if you would leave us a rating or a review on whatever platform you are listening on, I would greatly appreciate it.